Hello students and welcome back to Saurabh's classes. My name is Ashmita and in today's class we are going to solve certain questions which are based on sentence completion, and these kind of questions are quite common in the GRE examinations, and you all need to practice these kind of questions a lot if you want to score well in the English section, which is a compulsory part in these examinations. And these kind of questions also come in most of the entrance examinations where English forms a compulsory part. So definitely you need to practice a lot of vocabs for these kind of sentence completion question solutions so that you can score well in this section. So let's start with number 6. Now before starting, I would like to tell you that here we are being given fill in the gaps. Just like the way you do fill in the gaps, here also you have to do the similar thing. But here the point is you won't be able to understand the proper meaning or the whole meaning of the sentence which is provided over here. You need to pick up all the options which are shown over here and then put each of these options to check which option is going the best, and the most appropriate option would be the correct answer. So that is how you will approach all these questions. So let's start. So question number 6. Though he was theoretically a friend of Labour, his voting record in Congress dash that impression. Okay, so they are talking about a friend who was quite a good labor. Now, what do you understand by labor? Labor means a person who does a lot of work. Labor means someone who can work hard, like physically, as well as can work hard like every kind of work that person can do. So he is termed as the friend of labor, and his voting record in the Congress dash that impression. So we have to put each of these options and check which is making the best sense in the sentence which is provided. So let us put implied. The meaning of implied is to suggest something in an indirect way, or you can say, or without actually saying it. Okay, so you can say implied means in sign. In sign language or symbolic language, you can say it is shown. You are not actually saying it, rather you are just showing it, and you are just doing it. It's like kind of a sign you are showing. So if I put implied, though he was theoretically a friend of Labour, his voting record in Congress implied that impression. No. This won't go. It's like showed that impression, or no, it won't go. So number 1 is incorrect. Let us put created. We all know the meaning of created, like creating something. So if I put created, though he was theoretically a friend of Labour, his voting record in Congress created that impression. No, not at all going. Let us check number C, confirmed. Though he was theoretically a friend of Labour, his voting record in Congress confirmed that impression. See, all these points may seem that it may go, but first of all, we need to sort out the best point or the appropriate point which will provide us with the best sensible meaning of the sentence. We need to choose from these multiple answers the best one. Okay, but let us see number D also, belied. Now, belied means to give an idea of something that is false or not true. Okay, so if I put belied, though he was theoretically a friend of Labour, his voting record in Congress belied that impression. Like just because he was like normally he was a friend of Labour, like he used to do a lot of physical work or hard work. His voting record in Congress showed that that it was not true, it was false. So we can say that this would go. It is creating a good meaning. So number D can go. What about number E, maintained? Though he was theoretically a friend of Labour, his voting record in Congress maintained that impression. No. So the entire meaning of the sentence is thus coming to this, that though theoretically he was like a good working professional in the Congress party, but with the help of the voting record, that came out that everyone was having a false impression of him. He didn't work, and so he got less votes. So belied. Let us move over to the next question. Question number 7. The orator was so dash that the audience became dash. So the orator was, let us check the options. The orator was so soporific. What is the meaning of soporific? Soporific means like tending to induce drowsiness or like sleepiness. So you can say, in other words, this is drowsy. You are inducing drowsiness. The orator was like kind of so boring that you can say in simple words it's boring only, because things which make no sense, or it's like elongated and all, and we do not feel interested in those things, we can term as drowsy. So this soporific means drowsy, and that the audience became drowsy. So again they are terming this as drowsy. So basically they are talking about the orator who is making the audience drowsy. So this can go, this is a good option. But let us check the other options also. As I mentioned, that if we get a very good option, better option than option number A, obviously we will consider that option. The second option is inaudible and elated. Inaudible means it was like not proper, like people were not being able to hear properly. Okay. And elated means like kind of very happy and excited. So just see the meaning. If I am putting these two options, the orator was so inaudible that the audience became elated. What kind of meaning is this sentence providing us? Like inaudible, it was already inaudible they are saying, and that was making the audience happy. So makes no sense. I am crossing this out. What about number C? Pompous and bombastic. Now pompous already means showing something that you think that you are more important than other people. Like for example, by using long words that sound impressive. So you are using some impressive words just to show that you know everything and the others don't know anything. So you are trying to prove yourself like better than the others, in reality which you are not. And bombastic means like pompous only. You can say these two words are synonymous to each other. So bombastic, you can say high sounding but with little meaning, like kind of inflated speech you are giving. You are using like very impressive words, long words, elongated words, just to make an impression over the audience. So this won't go. Next is dramatic and affable. Now dramatic means, you all know, kind of drama, and affable means like pleasant, friendly and easy to talk to. So they are talking about the orator being so dramatic, so that the audience became affable. No, it's not making any good sense. Like if the orator was dramatic, they became friendly, the audience became friendly. Affable means friendly, so suddenly the audience became friendly. No, this can't happen. I'm striking this out. This is wrong. Number E, convincing and moribund. Now convincing, we all know the meaning of convincing, like it's easy to convince. The orator was so convincing that the audience became moribund. Now moribund means no longer effective and about to come to an end completely. So there you are talking about convincing, and on the other hand you're talking about the audience becoming moribund. So makes no sense. Like moribund means coming to an end. Alright, and convincing means you are making a lasting impression, you are persuading the audience. So on one side you are telling that the audience is not being able to like tolerate your speech anymore, and on the other hand you are saying that the speech was convincing. So it makes no sense. Once again, opposite things they are talking about, so this is also cross. So number A would be the correct option over here. Let's move over to number 8. If you carry this dash attitude to the conference, you will dash any supporters you may have at this moment. So they are talking about some attitude that the person is carrying to the conference. Like this person has quite attitude and he is going to the conference with that attitude. So they are telling him that you will dash any supporters you may have at this time. So I don't know what should I be telling over here, because until and unless I put these options, I won't be able to tell you the meaning. So let us put belligerent and delight first. Okay. What about like belligerent? Belligerent means kind of unfriendly or aggressive. Okay. I'm writing it down, unfriendly. And delight means like happy and all. Okay, delightful, happy. So if I put belligerent, like if you carry this belligerent attitude to the conference, you will delight any supporters. No, it's just not going. Just not going. Okay, number B, truculent and alienate. So truculent, if you carry this truculent attitude, now truculent means kind of defiant or aggressive attitude or hostile attitude or defiant attitude, you can say. Once again, this also means unfriendly attitude. Okay, so I'm putting it over here. If you carry this truculent attitude to the conference, you will alienate any supporter you may have at this time. Yes, this is making sense. Like, what sense is this making? It is telling us that it is being referred to a person who is carrying an unfriendly attitude to the conference, and he is being told by the people that the supporters that you have right now, you may not be having it if you carry this kind of an alienate, like if you carry this kind of truculent attitude, you will get alienated. Alienated means like they will no more share their opinions with you, or they will no more be your supporter. They will alienate you, like they will separate you from them. So this can go, that is number B can go till now. Let us check the other options also, conciliatory and defer. Now conciliatory means giving comfort, or you are consoling someone, giving comfort. Okay, you are comforting someone. And defer means to leave something until a later time. So to do it afterwards. I'm writing it just afterwards. Do it afterwards. Do anything afterwards. Like you're leaving in the midway, that particular thing, like it can be work, it can be anything. You're leaving it midway, and then you're doing it afterwards. That is defer. So if I put conciliatory and defer, if you carry this conciliatory attitude to the conference, you will defer any supporters. No. Conciliatory means comforting attitude. Then how will that person like leave the supporters till the next time? No, it's not making any sense. I'm crossing this out. Let's check number D, supercilious and attract. So supercilious means showing that you think that you are better than the other people. So kind of pompous attitude you are having. So supercilious, if you carry this supercilious attitude to the conference, so you will attract any supporters. No, not at all. Suppose you are carrying a very pompous attitude in front of the people, like who are supporting you, who are voting you. You are showing them you know much better than them. You are showing your attitude, very bad attitude, like supercilious attitude. Then obviously you will not attract them. Rather, you will lose their support. So you will definitely not attract them. So this is not making any sense. This is wrong. What about the last one, ubiquitous and delight? Now ubiquitous means very common. So if I put ubiquitous, if you carry this ubiquitous attitude, common attitude to the conference, then you will delight any supporters. If I put no. Suppose you are carrying a very normal attitude. Why will the supporters get suddenly excited? Like delight means become happy or excited. Why will the supporters suddenly get excited? For like no reason. So this will also not go. The best option that would go is number B. Let's move over to the next question, that is question number 9. Now, according to question number 9, the dash pittance the widow receives from the government cannot keep her from poverty. So what is the meaning of pittance? Pittance means a very small amount of money that the widow was getting. Now you know the meaning of widow, right? Widow means an old woman, or it can be a normal woman also, like a young woman also, who has lost her husband. All right. So this widow is getting a certain amount of money from the government after the death of her husband, but certainly that amount is so less that it is not being able to keep her away from poverty. What is the meaning of poverty? Poverty means lack or less amount of food she is getting, like not proper shelter she is getting, not proper sanitation facilities she is getting. So she is facing problem in her livelihood. So let us put these words and check which one is going the best. If I put magnanimous, the magnanimous pittance that the widow receives. Now magnanimous means kind, generous and forgiving. How can be the pittance be kind or generous or forgiving? It's a thing. How can be that thing be kind or generous? So this won't go at all. Let us move over to second option, indulgent. Now you know the meaning of indulgent. Indulgent means allowing somebody to have or to do whatever he or she wants. So if I put indulgent, the indulgent pittance, no, it's not making any sense. So I'm striking it out. Meticulous. Meticulous means giving or showing great attention to detail, or to be in easier words we can say it's very careful. So if I put the meticulous pittance, the careful pittance, no, not at all. This is also wrong. What about munificent? Now munificent means extremely generous. Okay, once again they are talking about generous, and after that they are talking about pittance. I already told you the meaning of pittance. Pittance means a very small amount of money. So generous and money doesn't go together. It's not making any sense. A very small amount of money that is less than what somebody needs or deserves, that is pittance. And it is received like it's kind of a wage or a salary, but that is so less that it cannot keep the widow away from poverty. Okay, the last option's spelling is wrong. It will be GRE, not GER. So meager, it will be meager. Meager means like too small in amount. Okay, too small in amount, not in any other thing, like in amount only. So we can say that this can go, because they are already talking about less amount of pittance. So we can choose meager, which is too small in amount. Like the money which she was receiving was too small in amount. So we can choose this as the correct option. So I would rather choose E, because all the other options are just not going. Let us check question number 10, the last question for today. Harriman, Kennan and Atchison were part of that inner dash of the American diplomatic establishment whose distinguished legacy dash UN foreign policy. So they are talking about three people who were there in the American diplomat establishment and whose distinguished legacy were some sort of part of the US foreign policy. So it's not making complete sense, but we need to put these words to make a sensible sentence. Okay, let us put circle and grieved. Now what is the okay, so these all you know. Circle means like it's kind of a circle, and grieved means like you are grieving about something, like your grievances, your complaints or your problems. So Harriman and Kennan and Atchison were part of that inner circle of the American diplomatic establishment whose distinguished legacy grieved US foreign policy. No, grieved is not going. The first one would have suited it, but grieved is not going, so it's wrong. What about this second one, sanctum and absorbed? If I put sanctum, like if I put here Harriman, Kennan and Atchison were part of the inner sanctum of the, now what is sanctum? Sanctum means a holy place or a shrine. So diplomatic establishment, they are talking about sanctum. So no, this cannot be. absorbed, whose distinguished legacy absorbed US foreign policy. No, 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 not at all. It's wrong. Let us check number C whether it is going or not. Core and dominated. Harriman, Kennan and Acheson were part of that inner core of the American diplomatic establishment whose distinguished legacy dominated the US foreign policy. Yes, this can go. It's making sense. So these three men were a part of the inner core, like the main team of the American diplomatic establishment whose distinguished legacy, like legacy means something, a small amount of what should I say, like amount of money, or you can say amount of or any sort of establishment which is coming from ages after ages, and it's kind of a legacy. Now it will pass from one generation to the other generation, and it's kind of a distinguished, like very much different legacy. So this legacy dominated the US foreign policy. So this is making sense. So we can go with option number C till now. But if, as I told you, if we find any other better options, then definitely we will go for that. Number D. Number D says life and biased. If I put Harriman, Kennan and Acheson were part of this American diplomatic establishment, were part of the inner life of the American diplomatic establishment whose distinguished legacy biased US foreign policy. No, no, not at all. This is wrong. Okay, let us check option number E, coterie and exacerbated. Harriman, Kennan and Acheson were part of that inner coterie. Now what is coterie? Coterie means kind of circle, just like the first point. Coterie means circle or that group. In simple words, circle can be termed as group, and these three men were a part of that group or that circle or a small group of people who were having the same kind of interests or tastes, and they were a part of this American diplomatic establishment whose distinguished legacy exacerbated US foreign policy. Now exacerbated means to heighten or to worsen or to kind of, suppose you are having wounds, and if someone rubs salt in it, how will you feel like? That sting that you feel like, that pain that you feel like, that is exacerbated. So they are talking about these three men who were a part of the American diplomatic establishment and whose distinguished legacy kind of exacerbated the US foreign policy. So you understood the meaning, but this won't go. The best option that is suiting is number C. So let's go with number C option as the correct one. So that was the discussion for today's class. We are going to meet once again in our other classes, which with all these kind of solutions and discussions.